Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning into this session of the Fireside Chat. Today we have Mr. Joseph Chan, who is a co-founder of Kith Kin Realty. Joseph has got a degree in accounting and finance, and he's a graduate from the Nila International University. He started off his career in banking and has worked in the Middle East as well. After spending 5 years in banking, he believed that the true potential of his market was actually through property investment, and that made him switch to real estate. Now, Joseph currently leads the Shah Alam division of Kith Kin Realty, specializing in the secondary market sector. He is also the head and training arm. He also heads the training arm of Kith Kin Realty and is responsible for the learning and development of agents and negotiators. Joseph has received many distinguished awards from the iProperties Agents Advertising Awards and the Star Property Not My Real Estate Awards for achieving the highest value and of the number of transactions in his field. He is well known for his trusted advice and is skillful in actually helping people find the right property to make it into a home. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Joseph. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Hi, Ernest. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for inviting me to share on this platform.
Excellent. Joseph, can you just share a little bit to our watchers and viewers today with regard to where do you currently operate in and how did you land up in operating in that location?
Yeah. So I'm currently operating in Shah Alam, and I myself was born in Shah Alam. That's where I'm very familiar. So this is the place I started in Shah Alam, and I live in Shah Alam as well. So Shah Alam is my forte, and Shah Alam, I think it's a very big city in Selangor, and I've been doing this for the past 8 years since 2013. And as of now, I mean, I've not covered the whole Shah Alam because there's so many parts of Shah Alam from southern, north, and west. I've not even covered. I'm still focusing in the central of Shah Alam, and I believe that Shah Alam has so much potential in the next few years.
Excellent. For those ladies, for viewers and watchers, ladies and gentlemen, when one used to think about Shah Alam, people used to think it's very far away from KL and very far away from the amenities of what KL and Selangor have to offer. Actually, now with connectivity, it's actually very, very close by. Can you share a little bit about how Shah Alam is situated, located, and its connectivity to, say, PJ, Subang Jaya, and also to KL?
Right. Shah Alam is at the border of Klang and Subang Jaya. Those two towns are actually an established town, but Shah Alam is still predominantly a new developing town. And I believe that because of the Subang Jaya and Klang town who has already been established, we have start to see the overspilling effect, whereby the people from Klang and Subang Jaya, PJs, are coming over to Shah Alam to look for property because Shah Alam's property are still deemed affordable. And there are many developers coming into Shah Alam because there's so many areas undeveloped. And the best part about Shah Alam is there's so much accessibility connecting to Shah Alam. There's so many highways here, and LRT line 3 is already coming in through Shah Alam. So we are seeing a lot of traffic from the developers, buyers from different cities coming to Shah Alam because of the price, and there's so much accessibility around this place. Yeah.
Can you tell me with regard to, you mentioned just now that there's a lot of primary market developers coming in, and you yourself have mentioned that you are a subsale specialist. Can I just ask you why you chose subsale? Are you focusing mainly on subsale as opposed to primary market, or is there a twist towards this?
The reason why I like to do subsale, firstly, because when I started with doing rental properties. So rental was my specialist back in the early days. And why I like to do rental is because when I do rentals, every property that I rent is an opportunity to sell in the future. And rental properties give me practice, to do more sales, and it's also fast money and easy to close, right? But I like to deal with owners and buyers to negotiate the deals. It's just the excitement of negotiating. And I believe that in sales, you retain a lot of repeat clients. And as I've been doing for the past 8 years, rental property is repetitive business. So it's an ongoing thing. And a lot of landlords will have many properties to wanted me to sell or manage. It's a repeat business. Yeah.
Can I ask you with regard to then your experience and what you've seen over the last 8 years in Shah Alam, how has A, the population growth been like? B, what about the property growth been like? C, what about the rental rates / selling price rates grown like? Can you share with us?
All right. So I believe that the moment that I joined in 2013, that was the time where there's a lot of developers coming into Shah Alam. Back then, 10 years ago, Shah Alam has not many new buildings. But since 2012, 2013, that is where we see a lot of development coming into Shah Alam. For example, in Batu Tiga, in Section 13, in Kota Kemuning, in ICT. So for the past 2 years, we see a lot of property being handover, and that's where the traffic starts to increase. And we've also seen the emerging of malls coming up into Shah Alams, like in Section 13 Aeon Malls, ICT, Shah Alams, in Kota Kemuning as well, in Setia Alams Mall as well. So all these malls has actually just developed for the past 6 or 7 years because of all those developers coming into Shah Alam.
But in terms of the flow of traffic and in terms of the flow of prices, how has the rental rates been like, and how has the sales prices been like for the asset classes in Shah Alam?
Right. So for these property prices, the average median price is around 500,000 for landed properties, and for apartments, the median price is about 300,000 for the apartments. While for the rental price, landed properties are going for about 1,700, and for the apartment, it's going for about 1,300. So that's the median price, which is why those affordable price cater more to this mass market. A lot of people is able to afford these properties. So we've been seeing a lot of first-time buyers coming to Shah Alam. It's quite active in this market.
How old is the average age of the individual in Shah Alam? Is there like a median age as well? Is it a young population, an elderly population?
There's few areas. For example, the central Shah Alam, I think it's about 50 years old, central Shah Alams. But the places like Setia Alam, I would say the population is about mid-30s, while the Kota Kemuning is about early 40s. So we've seen a lot of like places in Setia Alam, Kota Kemuning. Schools are really thriving, having good business. Kindergartens are having good business because there's a lot of new families coming into Setia Alam, Kota Kemuning on the east and west, Bukit Jelutong, Denai Alam on the northern side of the Shah Alam. So there's a lot of new houses in that area. So new houses actually targeted a lot of new families who wants to settle down in a new environment. So we've seen a lot of new families with the new children coming up, and a lot of schools and kindergartens setting up in those places.
Are those fellows who are coming into Shah Alam originally from Shah Alam itself, meaning they used to be probably living with their parents and now moving close by, or are they from outside Shah Alam moving into Shah Alam?
I would say it's pretty much very mixed. There are many people from Subang, PJ, Klang coming into Shah Alam. Their parents are still staying in those city. But what I noticed is that the Shah Alam people, when the children moved out, they will want to stay in Shah Alam. Why? Because Shah Alam is a majority Malay area. So I felt that a lot of these Malay residents wish to stay nearby to their parents' place. And the thing about Shah Alam is a Muslim-friendly city. It's a very well-developed Muslim city, and there's a lot of Islamic schools and kindergarten in Shah Alam, which is why many Malay young families love to come to Shah Alam.
When you say it's Muslim-friendly city, are you saying that it's more in terms of the amenities that's available or in services that's available that's catered towards that community?
I would say in terms of educations, food, the shopping malls, very much Islamic centric, which makes them feel very comfortable in doing their daily routine in Shah Alam.
I also understand that Shah Alam is also Kota di Raja. That's where the Sultan actually lives, I believe.
Yeah, that's one thing good about Shah Alam is in Shah Alam, that's where the Sultan lives and the Menteri Besar lives, which is why the place is very much well maintained. And I have to thank that the local council, MBSA, are very, very solid in managing the city. You hardly see traffic jams or the road not well done. If there's any issues with the roads or with the cleanliness, the local council will take the actions immediately.
I think one of my recollections is that every time when I go to Shah Alam, the roads are actually very wide. I think it's quite well designed. Quite well designed.
Yeah.
So, Joseph, can I just ask you, with regard to the present situation in the economy because of COVID and also with the CMCO, how has that impacted the economy of Shah Alam and Shah Alam residents?
All right. Uh, just to be very frank with you, since the CMCO was lifted on the first phase, the business in Shah Alam has actually picked up. What I've noticed is Shah Alam consists a lot of Bumiputra people, which works in the government, lectures, medicals, engineering. So we have a lot of blue collars people who have not been affected by this COVID-19. And I feel that 50% of my sales actually, in fact, came from all those government sectors. So I think in this time, the price has definitely dropped, So there's a lot of government staff looking for great opportunities. The interest rate has dropped all-time low. So there's a lot of government staff in Shah Alam looking for properties below market value, and there's a lot of, Shah Alam is also known for its hospitals and education hub. So there's a lot of lecturers and doctors looking for properties. So which is why for the past few months, our Shah Alam's real estate has actually been moving quite fast. Not just on my side, I've seen other agents doing many business in Shah Alam properties because I think the Bumiputra buyers, who are related to the government sector, are not really affected.
What about the pricing of those properties that have been in Shah Alam? Do you see the trend of prices moving upwards fast or moving upwards trending slow, or is there a difference in rise depending on the different asset classes?
I felt that the Shah Alam property price will be stagnant for the next 1 or 2 years. Why? Because the Central Shah Alam is considered a very old area, but there's a lot of new development in Setia Alam, Kota Kemuning, and the northern side, Elmina. What I noticed is the developers are actually launching the new launches at a very lower price. This time, they know, the developers is aware that they cannot sell at a higher price like 2017 or 16. So we are very surprised to see the developers, launching at a price that is similar to the subsale price, not the future price. Yeah.
Wow, that would mean that there's going to be a lot of price pressure on those who've probably bought 2-3 years back and are now getting the keys and are looking at either capital appreciation or even rental yield spike. What can they do, or what should they expect, or what can they expect?
Well, if those who have bought 2-3 years ago at a premium price, they are buying at this township that has a very big plans. I think they have to wait for maybe 10 years until the whole place is fully developed. The only good thing that we can see is the LRT line 3 is coming in, and then any city that is surrounded with ICT, who is going to be a big major booster in that area, will make the place a big difference. Yeah.
Can I ask you, as I know that ICT is a very integrated development where you have a lot of facilities within it. But the Shah Alam town, would that take away the essence of what a Shah Alam town can offer as well, in terms of, are there any other bright spots in Shah Alam other than ICT?
The one thing good about ICT is I felt that the developers are very ambitious and they have attracted a lot of investors, hoteliers. They have built the biggest mall in Shah Alam. Apart from ICT, I can't see any similar township that can match the Shah Alam ICT's concept. Probably SP Setia Alam could really match it, but I feel that ICT is on another level because of the location, because ICT is situated next to the Federal Highway and is between the Klang and the Subang Jaya. So in Klang, there are no big malls, and in Subang Jaya, the closest mall is in Sami Pyramid. So ICT Shah Alam will attract people from these two places, and I think it will be doing okay. Yeah.
Thanks for your commentary. I also believe that ICT is a very unique development, and it's a very attractive development because it has everything in one center. And I have to say that Tan Sri and his team has put such a lot of effort to get that thing up there. Yeah. Can I just ask you, Joseph, with regard to rentals, is there like a lot of demand for rentals? Say, for instance, between landed properties and stratified properties, which one has a bigger demand?
I felt that the bigger demands will be on the landed properties because Shah Alam being a Malay majority area, the Malay people prefer landed properties. So any landed properties that we have on our list will take about easily 1 month to be rented out. That is how fast those landed properties are fetching. But the thing is, landed properties in Shah Alam doesn't fetch that high. You know, like I mentioned just now, it was about median about 1,007. So a lot of investors who bought those landed property at a very premium price, who are expecting more than 2 or 3,000, that's not the case in Shah Alam. Is landed properties still fetch a very strong demand here.
So when you say the rental properties that are fetching around about 1,007, are they fully furnished, semi-furnished, or completely unfurnished?
I would say it would be unfurnished. Yeah.
Can I just ask you a little bit about Kith Kin? I understand
Yeah.
that Kith Kin is a relatively young agency. Can you tell us how it
That's
started and what's the history behind it?
All right. So what does Kith Kin mean? It means from strangers to friends and family. And it all started with my three beloved partners, Kenny, Freeman Wu, and Chong Tek Sing. And we have always had this dream of setting up our own agency. And the purpose of this agency is we want to create a new generation of next real estate agencies in this country. And we want to put agents first, you know. And what we have learned from our previous time, you know, we want to make sure that our agents have the proper equipment, tools, trainings to really thrive in this market. And the most importantly is we want our agents to give the best experience to our clients. That is what Kith Kin is all about.
What do you mean by agent first? Can you share that concept?
I think most of the other agencies are very much focused on client-centric, people first. But I feel that to give the best experience and give the best service to our clients, we have to give the best to our agents. You know, our office has to be a good environment. You know, after when they go for appointments or viewings, we want them to come back to our office to really feel good. You know, which is why we want to give all these feel good factors to our agents. And our office has been very much trendy. If you notice, we are very much hipster, very modern. That's what we want to give to our agents, you know, and this is something new, and I hope that it's going to be exciting in the next few months. Yeah.
How big is Kith Kin?
All right, so we started at about 50 people in March, and now we have got about 90 in October. Yeah.
Well done. I mean, it's almost like 100% within a very short period of time. Well done.
Thank you, man.
So
Thank
you
you.
definitely have been offering something very different to the market to attract people to come in and consider joining Kith Kin. That's well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
In this market where it's getting a little bit more challenging because of income levels, it's also more challenging in terms of jobs and even securing loans because jobs may not necessarily be full time. How are you looking at your business or strategizing your business to help your agents win? And the reason why I ask this is because at the end of the day, if I or anybody else wanted to become an agent, making sure that sustainability is going to be very important. How do you help your agents in that sense?
Right. So in this COVID-19 time, you know, definitely the transactions will drop, you know, things is going to be different, you know, and since the first MCO, we have been telling our agents to shift their approach from what they've been doing. We have to totally change the way we do things. And one of the things that we have emphasized is on social media marketing. This is the most important thing in this time. You know, everybody has been working from home. Everybody is worried to go outside to view or do go for appointments. Another thing is video of the property. You know, nowadays every time when we view the property, we must capture videos. And I believe that in this time we have to focus on motivated buyers and sellers. Previously, I think, you know, we always just put on the internet and just wait for the buyers to call us or the owners to call us. But this is different. We have to put more effort in proposing to those motivated buyers and sellers. And it's a buyer's market now. So buyers are looking for good deals. So we are now also focusing on desperate sellers, motivated sellers. These are all those target of people that we should be focusing. It has to be below the market value if you want to list a property because buyers are very much aware of what is happening and they are always looking for good deals nowadays.
So can I ask you, how has your experience been over the last maybe couple of weeks? Has there been a rise in auction properties in the Shah Alam area?
Well, I've seen a few properties being auctioned lately, and I expect that it will be much more auction properties by January and February, because I think there's many of the owners are still relying on the loan more term extension. So I foresee that by January or February, we'll see a lot of property listed as auction.
Will that mean that there's going to be a downward pressure on not just the brand new launches, but those people who have just bought them and they wanted to chase the market to rent them out or sell them off will also face those kind of pricing challenges?
Definitely. Those owners who wish to sell, they are not able to, by next year, when there's going to be a lot of properties listed below the market value, property being auctioned, it's impossible for these owners to sell at the market price. It's impossible to sell at the asking price. We have to sell at the current market. What are the buyers expecting? And I believe that there's not many buyers in this market. So the sellers has to be realistic. Until we find a COVID-19 vaccine, then we will see a hope. But a lot of buyers are having fear, uncertainty. There's so many buyers in different segment being wiped out, the airline, hotel and tourism, oil and gas, some of them are being affected. So all this category of buyers has been wiped out, and it limits us to certain buyers who are able to buy. So I don't think sellers has to put a so high price when they want to list. It has to be realistic.
Joseph, I'm going to ask you the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Assuming that I'm a qualified first-time buyer and I have a budget, I have a stable job, I'm not so affected by this present situation because the company that I work with is able to sustain. So with my budget of say 300,000 to 400,000, if I were to come to a person like you saying, hey, I'm looking for my first home, will you be able to help me?
Definitely. I always believe that if you want to invest in properties, my principle is always invest something at below at least 400,000. Why below 400,000? Because the average rental median is below 2,000, which is catered to the mass market. So if your rental is at maximum 2,000 and your property is at 400,000, you should be getting about ROI of 5%. And in Shah Alam, rental goes very fast. And the place that I would suggest to do your investment will be probably somewhere near the universities. Shah Alam are very well known for its education hub. For example, in Section 13 MSU, Section 7 UITM, that's where all these property are really doing well in their rentals.
Well done. The other thing is that what about the economic drivers for Shah Alam? Do you see them sustaining? Do you see them increasing over the next couple of years?
Good question. There's few boosters coming into Shah Alam, LRT Line 3. And we have got a new highway connecting from Shah Alam to Taiping. That's the West Coast Expressway. That will save a lot of time traveling to Taiping and Penang. It will go through by Shah Alam, And there's another highway from Dash Highway that will be on the Shah Alam North. Dash Highway is connecting from Puncak Alam to Kota Damansara. That's going to be another booster. And then ICT, is a big booster. And we also seen a lot of township being now. I'm starting to see the maturity. For example, Setia Alam, Kota Kemuning on the right hand side. On the north is Elmina. All this township, I've started to see them matured. So we will see a lot of stabilities in the next few years, actually.
Last but not least, Joseph, wanted to ask you, do you foresee yourself operating outside Shah Alam or Kith and Kin operating outside Shah Alam?
Definitely. We wanted to expand our coverage, not just in Shah Alam or Mount Kiara or Damansara or Bangsa. That Kith and Kin wants to give the next level of experience to our clients. We want to give the best training service to our agents, and we definitely want to expand beyond Shah Alam and Mount Kiara, and we hope to do it in the next 3, 4, 5 years time.
I guess I have to take another question because there's a question that I've actually always wanted to ask. If I were an investor, and this is not my first property, and looking at all the other assets that are available, and since you mentioned this is a buyer's market, where in Shah Alam would you advise me to plonk my money in? Or is it
where in Shah Alam? Okay, I will definitely share you this secret. All right. The place that I would highly recommend is in Section 13 Shah Alam. It's called Menara U Apartment. It is located opposite of MSU University. On the left-hand side is Aeon, and there's going to be LRT Line 3 station opposite there. Menara U service apartment, section 13, has the highest transactions in bricks actually. Why? Because there's a lot of investors coming in there because of this students market. Why I recommend to invest in the students market, because basically students market are not affected. Okay, apart from the COVID-19, they will not be affected by recessions or the economic, because students will still have to rent. The PTPN will still covers the loan, the government will still covers the fees. So I myself actually have invested in that area, and believe me or not, the price are going about 350,000, but the rental can fetch about 1,008 to 2,005 if you are doing by rooms rentals. So some of my colleagues have managed to transact at 3,000 ringgit for a 300,000 property. That's an ROI of more than 10%. So I've seen a lot of investors from PJ, KL coming into that particular building because of that students market.
Well done, Joseph. Thank you so much for your insights.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Ladies and gentlemen and fellow viewers, Fireside Chat has always prided itself in trying to help all its viewers, and Malaysians particularly, to actually make better financial decisions when it comes to real estate. And now you all know the secret juice in Shah Alam is Kith Kin with Mr. Joseph Chan. Joseph, any other thoughts of advice to any of our viewers out there? If they want to take it up to the next level, what should they do?
Okay, can I just share something? I would like to thank you, Ernest. I know you since 2015, and I was pretty much very new in this business, but knowing you have given me a lot of opportunity in this business. You have shown me a lot of projects, people around in this business. And I have to thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And because of you, this is where I am today. And I'm very appreciative with all your support and help for the past many years. Yeah, thank you so much, Ernest.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Always pleased and happy to work with people who are just as passionate and just as focused to helping deliver value to the people that we serve. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a Fireside Chat interview with Mr. Joseph Chan from Kith Kin. We hope you all the very best in your property journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.